Tyla barely sold freaking 4,000 copies in her first week for her new EP because of the disrespect she displayed towards Black American people. To everyone in the diaspora that keeps disrespecting Black Americans, what have we learned from this? What have we learned from this? I'll tell you, nothing moves and nothing shakes without Black Americans. This is coming from a Haitian American man. Nothing moves or shakes without Black Americans. Nothing. How you go from having one of the best songs of the decade and Water, and you got an EP that came out and only sold 4,000 first week, and you got financial backing and all that. Please.
Hi guys, my name is Esther Daniel and you're welcome back to the channel. So Tyla's name is back in the headlines, and not for the reasons her team was hoping for. Her album just dropped in the US and the numbers are very bad. And now Black Americans are saying, "We told you from the start." They claim Tyla never built a real connection with their community, and now the boycott they warned about, it might just be working. Let's see how people are reacting to this. And before we do that, please subscribe to the channel, like and share the video to help the channel out.
Okay, so there's a video going around, and it's actually kind of sparked a conversation. And that conversation being, why isn't Tyla doing well in the United States market or the Black American market? And before I get into my commentary about this, I'm going to make a few different things perfectly clear. I'm not talking to anybody that hasn't been to the United States for more than a year. I'm not talking to anybody that's never come to the United States. Okay, so if you're in those categories, this video is only for your educational purposes. This is not a conversation with you. Another thing is this: when Black Americans point out that you have disrespected our culture, because yes, we do have one. This is what Tyla's finding out. This is not the time for you to say, this is just a diaspora war. It's pushing a diaspora war. It's not. It's not. It is me teaching you how to engage me when you want to be a part of my culture. So we need to stop flaring about diaspora wars when African Americans try to tell people that this is how you should enter our space, because no one else does that. No one tells Nigerians that they're pushing a diaspora war when they tell people how to enter their space. No one tells it to the Cameroonians. No one tells it to the Ghanaians. No one tells it to those people from El Salvador. No one tells it to the people down there in South Africa when people want to come into their space. So we need to stop doing that with African Americans, because it's a double standard. And also, it's also because you want to be, it's also because of your desire to have close proximity to whiteness. Okay? Because when white people tell you not to do something, you don't do it again. Right. So this is one thing that we have to understand about internationals. And by we, I really mean internationals need to understand about internationals when it comes down to America. And I'm going to lean in very closely so you can hear me. America is racist. Okay? America is racist. All right? And the reason why you need to understand this is because in the music industry, there are certain ethnic groups that control that particular part of the industry. Okay? If white people don't like your country song, it's not being played. It's not going to the CMAs. Okay? Are we tracking? If Black people do not like your rap, your R&B, your hip hop, your smooth whatever, your neo soul, your any of that, it ain't going nowhere. And this is what the music industry knows. Okay? So when you enter into America, we have to label you in a way that we understand as acceptable within this culture. All right? Because different cultures have different things that are acceptable. For Tyla and her team and for other South Africans, you wanted to come to America where racism, Jim Crow, lynching Black people, all of these other things happened and was associated with the word colored, and you told us to get over it. You told us this is what we do over there, so y'all need to get over it. That's what y'all said. That's what y'all said. And Tyla thought that non-Black people were going to support her based off of the sector of music that she wanted to go into. No, that's our space. That's Black people. If Black people don't move the units, then Sony, all of these other recording labels, they say that you're not good enough because the market that we're trying to put you in doesn't like you. They will stop all of that. They will be like, no, we can't invest in you because the market, where there used to be a market for you, now there is not one because the market doesn't like you, because you offended the market. That's why Tyla is in the place that she's in. She just released her stuff and you telling me only 3,000? 3,000? Y'all understand that I have over 50,000 followers. 3,000 units is what was done. You don't have to guess it. It is literally a cultural misunderstanding. You thought that because white people run everything that they don't have to acquiesce to anybody, but they do. They do. Justin Timberlake made it big as a solo career because he had to pander to Black people. He had to pander to Black people. Miley Cyrus had to pander to Black people. If you want to be in this space that Black people had to create because our music wasn't acceptable in white markets. America is racist. And this is something that you don't understand if you've never lived in America. Now, beyond that, it has always been very peculiar to me when people want you to respect their culture when you come to their house, but when they come to your house, they think that they can do any old thing. That's a sign of disrespect. Not only is it a sign of disrespect, it's also very xenophobic because you don't do this to white people. You don't do it to white people. You don't do it to white people. And that's fine. I understand that you don't understand Black history. You haven't been taught it. You also haven't sought to learn it because you don't think it's important. And before any South African or African gets this confused, nobody in America told Tyla to come over here. I've been seeing a lot of comments saying that Tyla doesn't need the American market or Black Americans. If Tyla wants to be in the American market, which is why Tyla's music started to be played over here, she's going to need us. You're aware of that, right? You're aware of that, right? And regardless of however you feel about it, Black Americans, Black music, as in Black American music, does impact the world and how the world tends to do music. For case in point, I have a lot of African friends, and a lot of African friends have been listening to a lot of these African artists long before they ever got into the American market, right? More traditional sounding African music, very beautiful music. But some complaints that Africans have had is that once they have come into the American market, they try to make their music sound more American. Yes, that is to get the American dollar. It's called marketing. You can't market to people what you want them to like. That's not how that works. You have a goal market And if other people outside of that market begin to like it, that's nice, but they're not considered the target, right? The target market means that you create things specifically for them. And that's why Tyla isn't doing well. It's because she messed up marketing wise. I don't understand why this is not understood, because everybody expects this from anyone that comes into their space, that they understand and respect that space. And what South Africans essentially did behind the whole colored thing is the equivalent of a Black person going to South Africa, perpetuating stigmas and stereotypes that led to and perpetuated perpetuated apartheid, and tell South Africans to get over it. That is the equivalent of what South Africans did. And that's why Black people are no longer supporting Tyla. That's why. Because it's that egregious. It is a very big cultural snafu that she made. And that's just being honest. So you can choose to take the information or not, but a fact is still a fact, whether you want to believe it as a fact or not. And that's just what it is.
We tried to help Tyla, but her team thought she was bigger than the program. Her team did not understand African American influence in the U.S. Ain't nothing cool till we say it's cool. We got on social media, gave our feedback. I made a video months and months ago. Got on here giving feedback about how we feel and what's going on. Had they just took that into consideration and started changing stuff, but they wanted to appease certain people. And y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all wanted to appease certain people. Little did you know, it's us. Because these labels don't care about nothing until we say it's cool. They looked at the feedback they seen online and was like, yeah, no. Because we don't have an audience for you. The audience we would aim for, they mad at you. And here you are thinking it's funny talking about this uppity African stuff. We're just trying to let you know that what you're doing and how you're moving, that's not how it work over here. Now you got them 4,000 album sales. Then y'all thought because she got a Grammy that she was winning. No. Don't nobody care about the Grammys over here. Like, Grammys don't equivalent to money over here. The Grammys don't equivalent to success. Yeah, we want to see our favorite artists get a Grammy, but just because you get that Grammy don't mean you got it the right way, don't mean it was fair. I mean, just look how they did Beyonce. Then she got on The Breakfast Club, one of the #1 African-American media outlets, and acted like that. Just go watch it. Just go watch the interview. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Then she made the whole uppity African thing a joke. It's not a joke. That was actually feedback, and you made it a joke, and that's what really made a lot of people turn away from her. Beautiful girl, beautiful gowns, but the problem is that y'all thought that was enough, and it's not enough. And it's very clear that Americans, we love Afrobeat. We do. We've always embraced other cultures, but they also knew how to come over here and act. That's how you're supposed to do. If you want a fan base, you do have to appease to that fan base, and vice versa. If an American artist was to want a bigger following in Africa, more than likely they're gonna have to make or create some songs that appeases to that part of the world. It is marketing. It is all marketing. But you cannot get over here and be doing all that shit. It's like coming at somebody's house just acting a damn fool, not knowing how to take your shoes off and all that. You cannot. Bro, I have talked about this in the past till my face was down there blue. Okay? I don't understand how people don't comprehend the problem with Tyla. I don't get it.
I think the Tyla situation is being blown out of proportion. Black Americans did not want to see Tyla fail. We simply did not support her. What is the issue? What is the problem? We didn't set her up to fail. We didn't orchestrate anything against her to make her fail. We simply stopped supporting her. I think that's the real issue. People don't like when Black people find something to stand for. They hate the idea that we will pull support if we feel like that idea doesn't align with what we're trying to do, right? Because in reality, it does not make sense for Black people to put support behind someone who does not consider themselves Black. Like, okay, you can be great. You can be a great singer. You could be a great dancer, but we're not going to rally behind that. What we're looking to rally behind is someone who is a symbol for the Black community. If you don't want to be that symbol, that's fine. Don't expect our support. And that's what they don't like. They want us to consume without question, right? They want to be able to sell us music, sell us acts, sell us ideology that does not benefit us. That doesn't work anymore because that means that we're not profitable to them anymore, right? They only want the Black dollar. They don't want to support the Black cause. When we don't allow them to have the Black dollar without supporting the Black cause, then they're mad. That's where the anger comes from. Because they recognize our spending power. They recognize our influence on white America, right? They see all of this stuff. They don't want to associate with us. That's fine. You can do that. But what you shouldn't do is expect the Black dollar to follow. We have a right to put our money and support behind things that support us as a community. I mean, Black people finally realize how influential our culture is. And now we know that we are in a position to decide who rises to the top and gets to represent us. And so now we're real picky about who we let up there. But that's all right, though. Like, hip hop is a Black space, right? So obviously, you need the Black approval to be considered part of it. I don't know why y'all think that y'all can bypass that. Something about that, y'all need to really think about that because something about that is really entitled. We don't owe you anything of our culture. If you can be great in South Africa. She's going to be great in South Africa. But South African sales don't count towards Billboard. Not in America. You know, it's not many people outside of our community that we support in general, like music wise, literally. So I don't know why y'all thought that would fly. You can't come over here marketing to Black people and say you don't want to be associated with them. Come on, be serious. I mean, y'all just got to start being realistic. I think it's that y'all think we're dumb and stupid and y'all feel entitled to Black culture and Black labor, which is why we even be having these conversations.
Two things ruined Tyla's debut. Number one, her fan base in South Africa. Number two, kind of the reputation South Africans have right now. So let's start off with number one. As someone who has personal beef with some of the Tyla fans from South Africa, and it's a little bit more one-sided now because quite a few of those people are blocked, her fans over there have been insane. From saying like just really nasty things in a general sense about Americans, specifically African Americans, to the comments I get in my own videos. I remember I posted a video of Tyla, like the camera at the MTV Music Awards caught her dancing, zoomed in on her, she stopped dancing. I thought it was just like a really funny, cute moment. And I had people literally calling me a fat, dirty Black cow, saying that Americans are so entitled and act like everything belongs to them, like she's not mine, like all sorts of crazy stuff for no reason. And as far as I know, a lot of this stuff was never really addressed. She didn't really tell her fans to like calm the fuck down, and it just snowballed into this thing where I think a lot of people who talk about music, pop culture, all of this stuff, fashion, they didn't want to touch it because why would they? Why would I talk about Tyla and give any type of feedback that could potentially get me harassed for the next 48 hours, 2 weeks, or 2 months? That's not a joke. I've had to go into my settings and have certain blocked words for language I don't even speak because people were just being so fucking heinous. And unfortunately, Google Translate is a thing. And then the second part, like, the white South Africans were acting wild. Like, the hate comments are a lot, but we had a guy in the White House doing fucking ketamine. I don't even know if he was sober when his baby was on his shoulders. One of his feeding them babies too. Out of his 20 baby moms, I don't think it's 20. I think it's 14. I'm not even exaggerating. I think he has 14 baby mamas in some way. So there was that guy, and then the white South Africans who were leaving the genocide, not a genocide, leaving the apartheid that they helped to create, and coming over here and taking American farmland. I'm not over that. That shit is insane to me. They took American farmland that was seized because of some really dumb, shady bureaucrat stuff. But I digress. So South Africa as a whole, not having the best moments in the cultural zeitgeist, and I think that led to a lack of support for her. I think there was a lot of Americans who felt like, okay, you don't want me to play her music, fine, I fucking won't. I won't play it. I won't talk about it. I'll leave it alone. Matter of fact, ooh, what a move like Jenny. Okay, Jenny had the same choreographer for the Like Jenny music video, and I was talking to someone about it in the comment section, and they had mentioned that like that person had worked with Tyla, and I had someone in my fucking comment section like, leave Tyla's name out your motherfucking mouth. We're just talking about the person that did the choreo and they're different clients. Like it's been insane. And again, I feel bad. I think she has all the potential to be the next kind of like bad gal-esque type of girl, but she had such a really beautiful spin on her own flair. I think it's a very like weird time because even though Afrobeats aren't really going anywhere, there's this kind of like cooling of it for some places with corporate greed, and they're trying to invest all their time and money into K-pop. It's been so weird, and I really want her to do well, but her fans have been so fucking horrible to me. Like, this is the first time I've talked about her in months, and I watch all her music videos and I listen to a lot of her songs. I would almost be a fan if people wouldn't have been so goddamn mean. That's the same thing with Taylor Swift, but that's a conversation for a whole different day. But yeah, just some thoughts.
And I agree. The reason why Tyla's EP flopped in the United States, or is flopping, is because of her fan base and her arrogant attitude. Like, she is extremely arrogant. That is not to say I do not like Tyla's music. I'm a big fan of Tyla's music. And since I made a video last year where all of the people in like South Africa and West Africa were in my comments calling me out of my name, saying that I was jealous, I have done some educating myself on it. Now, just going back a little bit, Tyla in the past on one of the award shows, she wanted to correct everybody because people were under the assumption that she makes Afrobeats, and her music is similar to Afrobeats, but it's Amapiano, which is more like house, tech, trance type of genre, and then Afrobeats is more like hip hop and R&B. But the thing is that there was just a disconnect there between her South African fans and the American fan base, because there was a lack of communication, and a lot of the fan base in South Africa had this condescending, very arrogant attitude towards American fan base, and instead of trying to educate them and trying to just say, hey, there's a difference between the music and da-da-da-da-da, just being flat out rude, nasty. And that's what ultimately led to the downfall of Tyla in the United States, not to mention because she called herself colored, and then she went back and said, well, I don't know that, you know, in America it's not acceptable to call yourself colored, because in South Africa, that's what we're called, which I agree and I understand. I know there's a disconnect, there's a cultural difference between the United States, and people are like, well, if you're going to come to the United States, you need to know our lingo, you need to know how we work over here, and that is not an acceptable term. But I honestly wholeheartedly think that between her and her record label, there's just a huge disconnect. I seen a video of her a few weeks ago. She was at some type of festival. They didn't even give her enough money to have a stylist come out to do her makeup and hair. She had to do her own makeup and her own hair because it wasn't in the budget. And now that she's releasing this EP and she has an album that's following it, I really just don't think the American fan base is really receptive to Amapiano genre of music, because her record label is watering down her music. And she even said she doesn't like the music she makes. She hates it. It's like bubblegum pop, and she doesn't feel like it's her real authentic self being heard in the music that she's making. And I don't put anything past Epic Records to water it down and make it more palatable to the United States fan base. So I don't think we'll ever get to hear, unless you hear some of her old stuff, or, you know, you do your own homework and hear the difference between Amapiano and Afrobeats, and you listen to real Afrobeat and Amapiano artists, then you'll understand the difference between her music, the American version of her music, and real Amapiano and Afrobeat music. But I think that's where the disconnect is, and I just don't think a lot of Americans are really ready and receptive to that type of, you know, genre. I've read some people like saying, oh, Afrobeats is just dying in the United States. I love Afrobeats. When I say that's probably, I listen to Afrobeats and Amapiano music probably 65% of the time.
because I just love it so much. But I really feel like, and there's nothing wrong, some people just don't like that type of music, but I feel like there's a disconnect. And I don't think that her career is going to do any much better in the United States because of her record label doing such a poor job of marketing her, and just, you know, trying to market her like she's Rihanna, and she's not Rihanna. Instead of trying to market her with her own style, they really just try to put her out there like she's going to be the next Rihanna in the United States. Shouldn't have done that. It was a different time when Rihanna came out, and now music is evolving, and I don't even want to say Americans aren't receptive to, you know, Afrobeats and Amapiano. I just want to say that if you market it the right way and you make it very clear, this is, you know, this type of music, and put a little history behind it and whatnot, people are going to be receptive to it.